Okay, so here's the deal. This is the grate that sits inside the salter. And you can see how big those holes are. Well, the problem that I was having, like I explained in my last video, is when I shovel all of the salt out of that bulk pile into the salter, into the hopper, any rocks that are in that salt can easily pass right through here, and that's what was clogging up my auger. That's what gave me all the problems. So I had this idea that I'm going to use this. Let me explain real quick. So when I was scooping up that salt, I made the mistake and I scooped it from the very bottom, scraping the shovel across the ground, and that's where the rocks were. That was my mistake. Excuse me. That's where I picked up all the rocks. Well, I went back and I filled up 4 more buckets of salt and I ran them through with no problems, but I scooped right out of the center of the pile instead of along the ground. So I didn't get any of them rocks up. But just as a preventive maintenance kind of thing, so I don't destroy my salter or burn up that motor or break the auger or anything like that, I had a ton of this expanded steel left from that trailer build I did last year. So I'm going to take this piece. I'm still going to use this because it's a lot firmer than this. This stuff's kind of flimsy. I'm going to take this piece, I'm going to lay it up on top of here, and I'm going to cut this out to match this. And then that way this will sit right on top of here, and as I shovel salt in there, it won't allow any rocks through here big enough to clog up that auger. So in the case that I do get some, I'm hoping I don't have that problem again, but as a preventive maintenance just in case. So like I said, this will still be in there. It's just going to have this on top of it. So the salt will pass through it no problem when I shovel it in there. Not as quickly as through these big holes, obviously, but the salt will pass through it no problem, but I won't get the big rocks going through that clog up the auger. So that's the plan.
Alright, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to take the original grate and I'm going to lay it on this expanded steel. I want to make sure that it's a little bit smaller than the size of the actual expanded grate, because that one fits really tight in there, and I just don't want any restrictions. It just has to cover the majority of it. So I have it laid out on here the best way that I think it'll be, well, the easiest way to cut it, and I'm just marking it all off with a yellow paint marker. That's the easiest way to mark steel. I used to use chalk a lot, but it's just easier and to do and easier to see actually when you use a paint marker. So that's just the way that I'm doing it here. But I'm going to get it laid out, get it all cut, get it all marked out, pull the original piece off there, and I can start cutting it out. So that's what I'm doing here.
There, now that should work much better. The holes are less than half the size of what they were before. You can get an idea right there how much I downsized those holes. some of you are probably wondering why I just zip tied this. My plan is to tack weld this one to this one so that it's all one unit, but like I said, this is an idea I have, and I'm hoping this works out, but I'm not 100% sure. So before I go tack welding it on there and then find out it doesn't work, or when I dump the salt in it doesn't pass down through and it just stays piled up here and I gotta get it to mess with it to get it in there, you know, before I run into any problems, I want to see if this will work. Those zip ties will hold it just fine from sliding back and forth. See, it's in there. Those zip ties will hold it really good for now. And then if I find out after using it a few times it works good, then I'll go back and I'll just tack weld these two pieces together so that they're all one piece. But I know I got a couple larger holes here, but I'll just make sure that I don't dump salt there or over in here. I didn't want to cut it the exact size of this because this one fits in there tight. It actually needs to be trimmed in the corner there, in this corner over here, and then maybe the next one up. But either way, so zip tying it for now is the best solution I can come up with to find out before I go making it permanent, and we'll see what happens. But I think that's going to do it. So that takes care of that. Just little things you got to do when you run a salter. You got to keep that thing cleaned off because it will rot out your truck, it'll rot out your bumper, it'll rot out the salter. So I wanted to do it over here at my buddy's house. Look at this hair. Isn't that crazy? I'm determined to grow it out. I've always had high and tight my whole life, and I'm set on growing the top out. We're gonna see what happens. I'm sure I'll get sick of it and I'll cut it. But anyway, so I want to do it over here at my buddy's because he has a water spigot inside the house and 4 water spigots outside his house when he built it all the way around, and he has hot and cold water running to every spigot, so it makes it nice. I just come over here, it's like 35 degrees out today, and I come over here and I use the hot water and I clean all that salt off there. I cleaned the inside of the hopper out. I really didn't need to, but I like to keep it clean anyway. I like to take care of my stuff. So, but I got all the salt off the spinner, all the chunked up salt off the bumper. I got it off of all that, so it's all nice and rinsed off. But so you know my dilemma with that hopper and the rocks getting down in there. So that should take care of that. I guess we'll see. Just a short one for you guys, but thanks for watching, thanks for coming along today, and don't forget to share, subscribe if you haven't already, and feel free to leave your comments. I try to respond to everyone that I can. I don't think it's very rare that I miss one. You guys know that if you follow me, but they're much appreciated. So thank you again, and I'll see you in the next one.